Ready to introduce legislation to reduce the estate tax. Because of Senate inaction, the estate tax lapsed at the end of last year. And while there is no estate tax this year, heirs of those dying in 2011 may owe full cap gains tax in 2011. In our viewer outreach segment, should Congress kill the estate tax for good? Here's what you said. David from North Carolina said, kill it? Can you imagine the wealth that would be generated if the estate tax was eliminated? But Mike from California counters, keep the estate tax, make it start at $5 million, and then index it to inflation. Interesting. Joining us now is Jeff Bolton, a founder of blowoutcongress.com, and Boyce Watkins, finance professor at Syracuse University. Thanks to both of you for joining us. Boyce, take it away. What's your opinion?
Well, obviously, we need the estate tax. There's no reason whatsoever that our nation, in the financial state that it's in, can afford to allow its richest Americans to go without paying taxes. You know, one of the funny things that that I've noticed about the debate on the conservative side of the fence is that the conversation is about fiscal responsibility and reducing the deficit. Well, if you want to allow the deficit to continue to grow, then just allow your richest Americans to not pay taxes anymore or estate taxes anymore, and then you're going to really have problems with the deficit.
Yeah, but Boyce, isn't this a case of double taxation?
No, it's not a case of double taxation, in my opinion. It's a matter because if you look at the wealthiest 400 Americans across the United States who have an average income of about $344 million, which is about 10 times what LeBron James makes in a year, they paid an average of 17% of their income in taxes, 17%. So the truth is that not only should estate taxes continue to exist, but also we should find ways to more creatively distribute the wealth in a way that our nation will be economically sustainable.
Let's let Jeff get in. What do you think?
Boy, I can fix this one and make it easy. And Boyce, I was glad to hear you correct yourself and say that the richest people don't pay taxes because, in fact, they pay the most taxes. Look, the estate tax at this point, the death tax, if you will, is nothing more than the modern-day devil that is created by Congress. We don't need it. And let me tell you why. This is very simple. I can find you, in 2008, I believe was the most recent number, death taxes generated about $25 billion. I can find you that much waste in our government in 12 seconds. We need to be encouraging people to pass on their wealth to their heirs. We need to encourage them to pass it on to charity. I don't think the government has the moral right to tax people when they're dead. Can you imagine that? It's a creation of a failed tax policy, which we lay at the feet of Congress, in my mind, because, let's face it, Ways and Means has been run by Charlie Rangel for a lot of years. There's your first problem in an 80,000-page tax code that's out of date. This is a minor issue that really covers up a huge problem. That is our tax
Mr.
code
Bolton,
is a disaster.
Isn't this, in fact, double taxation, though? You paid taxes on it once when you earned the money, and then you're getting forced to pay tax again when you're gone.
It is. And I disagree with Boyce on that, because you are paying taxes. Rich people are paying taxes up front on this. Imagine this, too. We've also created this entire cottage industry to help people avoid paying what is a relatively small amount of tax on their estates at the end of the year. Now, in anybody's world, $25 billion is a lot of money, but it's not in America anymore. We need to let this one go away, and let's go after the waste in government instead.
Boyce, go ahead.
Well, I certainly agree that the estate tax code can be simplified. So you and I are in agreement on that. But one of the things that we have to remember is we can go back to Teddy Roosevelt, for example, who said that the United States is not a country that's meant to be an economic aristocracy. And that's exactly what you get when you allow the wealthy to hoard their wealth without paying taxes. In the last 20 years, the wealthiest 1% of Americans have accumulated about 46% of the wealth generated during that time. And so if you look at any group of Americans who can afford to pay taxes, even more than they're paying right now, it would be the wealthy. Right now, our nation has a $13 trillion deficit. We have, $13 trillion debt and a $1.3 trillion deficit. So even though government waste should certainly be cut, we're in agreement on that as well. Another way to waste money would be to allow the wealthiest to not pay taxes. And I don't even know why any of us would go out of our way to defend people who make far more money than most of us will ever make in a lifetime.
Oh boy,
that doesn't make any sense.
We give you the last word.
That's an easy one. Yeah, that's an easy one, because we need to reward people's hard work and prosperity in this nation. That's what we were founded on. The more we do that, the more wealth we're going to create for the average citizen.
Okay, we're going to leave it there, guys. Thanks for a great debate.
All right, thanks.
Don't punish prosperity.